Hello, this is Vip Vipperman, excited to be back on the Back in the Bold podcast. Today, I'm looking forward to an interview with a friend and general partner of Eagle Venture Fund, Raffaele Carmine. Rafi, good morning.
Hi, Vip. Hi, Vip. Good afternoon.
Yeah, now I'm saying good morning and you're saying good afternoon. Rafi, where are you in the world today?
Well, between you and myself, there's like a small river called Atlantic Ocean. I'm, sit-
Yeah.
I'm sitting in Switzerland, and I'm a Swiss guy. I'm born in Switzerland, living in Switzerland, working in Switzerland. Love to travel abroad, but essentially, I'm here in a very beautiful country and love to be here.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to dive into some of the origin questions of Eagle this morning and some of the vision for the future as well. As we get started, tell me a little bit about what was happening in your life and career when the idea for Eagle first took root.
Well, I used to be a trader, investment banker, private banker, say in my earlier life. Well, that's how my career started after like the whole studying thing and all these kind of things that you have to do. And I always had this thing in my heart and where I want to do, the purposeful investing, but not just like giving away, but also having a good return on it, like the combination of these two things. And I checked through a lot of vehicles, a lot of investment opportunities, and I couldn't find anything that I really liked. I mean, you start on what is impact, how you measure impact, what is a good return, how is like a, a structure where you have like a fair value on a fair risk on the investment that you take. So it's not so easy in the whole investment world. I mean, you have so many vehicles, you have so many good opportunities, which in the end are not so good anymore if you look and dive deeper. So I had always this thing on my heart where I wanted to create something which is just better, something that I really want to invest in, that I can stand behind and tell my friends, my family, this investment opportunity is just like the best thing that you can do. That was always on my heart for many, many years. And when we sat together, I mean, the now four cheapies, and we discussed that, and we all had this thing on our heart, we just felt like, wow, something clicked. And I just knew like with these partners, we can get something going. And well, here are we now. I mean, a couple of years later, and the Eagle Venture Fund is live with a couple of funds and doing exactly the thing that I always wanted to do. I mean, this impact measure with a real impact report, not I saved like a tree or I saved that many tons of CO2, where actually no one really knows, I mean, what does it mean for me?
Right.
Right. It's something that touches your heart. I mean, that's always something that I think it's important also as an investor. I mean, you're a steward of your money, and you should be a good steward. And investing it, get some return back, but also doing good and measure it and report it and get something which is emotional touching. That's really gold.
That's awesome. Well, as we're thinking about that, like processing what, the type of fund that you would be interested in sharing with your friends, you would be interested in investing in yourself. And you mentioned the idea of like, looking at these climate, we'll say related funds and kind of thinking, I don't know if that actually affects me, if it affects other people that much. What problem did you specifically see in the world that convinced you a different kind of fund was needed?
But first of all, I had always a heart for early stage ventures. I mean, I myself are a serial entrepreneur. I had started like 2,000 companies, something like this. So I always had a heart for entrepreneurship. And also understand out of logic that you have the biggest leverage in early stage companies. So if you succeed investing successfully in an early stage company, you have the biggest return for the investor. So I mean, this makes totally sense for me.
Yeah.
But what's on top of it is if you invest early stage, you can also help to model the whole business case together with these entrepreneurs. So you can really give input in it, and you can have like even better impact and return by helping him build out and modeling his vision to get something better going on later on. And that's just like something which I'm totally excited about. And if it now comes to special topics like transforming healthcare or counter trafficking, these are very difficult things that no one is really touching. I mean, some are trying, but I mean, obviously, everyone is failing. If you see the numbers on worldwide, how, for example, counter trafficking grows every year. Well, obviously, the countermeasures are not that good. So, being part of such kind of, say, adventure is really cool. It's really meaningful.
Nice. Tell us a little bit about how the founding team came together. Like,
right. I mean, the story is maybe well known, but Ray and myself, we met 15 years ago or 16 years ago, something like this, through a gold trade. Here in Switzerland, I was on the other side. He traded some of these precious metals, me too, and we met up in such kind of trade, and we get to know each other. And we just felt like, yeah, that's a relationship which goes deeper, and let's try to do something together also in other ventures. And so we did. I mean, we started working together a couple of years ago, and a couple of years later, we got a consulting gig to help an early stage fund to get up and running. So together, Raymond, myself, and Wes been appointed to help this fund. And so we had like a hands-on experience in the whole early stage fund ventures, and we were excited about what we can do, and we saw exactly what we wouldn't do if we would have our own fund. So together, after like this experience in one or 2 years where we helped the other fund, we felt the strong feeling of let's get something started together with own purpose, with our own structure, where we could do what is on our heart. And at that point, we also met Wade, which shared our similar vision. So the four of us, well, we put together the vision combined with the whole team with special things like we have a veto right, every one of us. So we have to be in unity in everything we do, which sounds very nice, but in the day-to-day job, it's not always that easy,
right.
but it always helps.
Yeah.
Because you need to kind of submit to each other.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome. It's funny. I've heard y'all talk a little bit over the years about the coming together. I never heard about the gold trade. I didn't realize that was what it was that actually got you and Ray connected. So in the early days, what was the defining conviction, like a non-negotiable that shaped Eagle's mission?
We didn't want to do good. We want to create life, and life in abundance. So it's not something that we try to do good to the world, but we had this impression on how to do this real social impact on our heart. And this is life-changing. And I just believe that God has put some visions into us. We just need to, get it going and, transform it from this deep desire into the real world or in the touchable world. So the four of us just shared these kind of similar things. And that's really the magic and what happened, because it wasn't about us. It wasn't about us coming together and say, we want to start the biggest fund on this planet and we want to get like rich. It was more like, hey, we all shared the same passion for uplifting people, from transforming lives, to bring real life back and opportunities back to the people, but also give the investors a good return. So it's like a win-win for everyone.
Yeah.
And that was exceptional that I find three guys thinking the same way as I did, because before, for the last at least 15 years, I had this thing on my heart, but I couldn't find anyone relating to it, or it wasn't sincere from the other people, because in the end, it was all about greed, money, mammon. And now I found these guys which just said, hey, I'm bought into this vision. I will invest. I will go along. I won't give up. And that for me was like this gold moment where all of us shared the vision and we just sensed, yes, that's it.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. All right. Now, moving from like origin to like purpose and motivation, right? What personally compels you to invest your time and capital in venture that advances human freedom and justice and flourishing?
It's the reports that I see. If I see that we could help so and so many people getting health access, really healthcare for people which would have healthcare before, or if we can do uplifting of so and so many thousands of people, giving them education, that's totally excites me.
You like
It's
the impact reports. I love
like
it.
the impact report and the stories that you hear from these entrepreneurs, how they really make a change in their social environment.
Yeah.
You can change the society just by doing the right thing. And it's not an NGO where everyone just like spends money, and as soon as you stop spending, well, everything falls apart. And nothing against the NGOs. I mean, it's good that they're here, but I didn't have the feeling of having an NGO built, but more to have a model built, which pays itself, which does this like kind of social impact that I want to see, but has a return for the investor on top of it. That's like this perpetuum mobile which we try to build.
Yeah. The perfect engine. That's awesome.
Right.
All right. When you think about the work that Eagle does, what does impact truly mean to you?
Real impact is something which I understand as a real impact. So it's sometimes hard to measure because you might have another understanding on impact than I have. But I think there's like a common understanding on what impact is. If I can uplift a child, give him an economic opportunity by putting education in him, give him an opportunity that he can start his own business, that he can feed his family, that he doesn't need to rob his neighbor, going like the criminal route. He doesn't need to do drugs because now he can earn his own money, have a family, a sound family where he can raise up his children and so on. That's all like life-giving. And that's an understanding on how can we fix things that the society or where the society is just broken.
Nice. It sounds like you're really passionate about changing the trajectory of a person's life.
It is, yeah, totally.
That's awesome. How do you think you define success beyond financial returns? What does success look like to you?
We spoke before about these impact measures. It's like this impact reporting. If I have like a good return, which is not like 0.5%, but a good return where you say, well, I'm totally prepared to invest my cash for 7 years or for 10 years if I get like a double up or a 3x. That's a good return in my view, because you can compare it to Standard & Poor's 500 return. But beyond like this financial return, success means if I have these reports, these impact reports, where I understand what my money did, and I'm excited about like what the outcome was, that excites me.
Nice. So is there a particular story or a person or a moment that really cements your why behind this mission? Like if you think back, like something that happened over the last 8 years that's really just, man, this is the pinnacle of what we're talking about?
I mean, there's so many stories, but let me tell a health story. Now we spoke about counter trafficking. A woman, breast cancer, stage 4. Well, actually, her life was more or less over. I mean, they sent her home from hospital and say, "Well, it's time to die." I mean, what can we do? I mean, we tried everything we could, and now you have metastasis over your body. And she reached out to Wise Medicine, which is also one of our portfolio companies, and she said, "Yeah, I have cancer. I know there's nothing which you can do, like as far as I know, but we have some special treatments within Wise Medicine." And we took care of her. We put her like through special treatment, which is not that well known in the normal medical world. And she went through that. And 4 months later, she's now completely cancer-free, has her life back, and
Wow.
now can do again the things that she was called to do. I mean, you have a purpose in your life. And if you have cancer and if you're dying, I mean, it's very hard to fulfill your purpose. Now she's back on. She's back in her life doing the things that she has to do. And I can't tell her what to do because she knows exactly what her purpose is. And hopefully everyone finds the purpose. But that's something which is like life-giving. That's like a normal thing of life-giving. And we have, out of our 55 portfolio companies, every portfolio company has so many stories about like what their purpose is and how they build life. And that's what's exciting for me. Every investment gives incredible stories and incredible real social impact.
Dude, that's awesome. What an amazing thing. I mean, for her entire family, the impact of that type of a transition. And how
Absolutely.
often does that happen these days in the world where somebody just goes home with no hope and thinking that they have no future. And it's like there's still something that can be done. That's incredible.
Absolutely.
And all done in a for-profit business model, but it's not trying to extract too much from the person, right? I mean, she still was able to pay for the service from you guys. It's not like it was out of reach.
Right. So we
That's
need to be fair. It is not, I mean, it's a for-profit business. You have to pay for the service, but we always try to do it accordingly that we don't rip anyone off, but we offer a fair pricing for what we do. And you still need to decide on shall I buy it or not. I mean, it's like with a keyword from LivFul. I mean, the anti-mossy cream that you can put on your skin, and it really prevents mosses to bite you and ticks to bite you. It works beautifully. It's nearly natural. There's like no harm, no side effect, but you have to pay for the cream. That's right. Yeah. We try to subsidize certain kind of countries in Africa where you get the stuff cheaper, but it's not for free.
Yeah, it needs to be something that people are willing to be paying for themselves. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, as you look at the evolution and growth of Eagle over time, how has Eagle's mission or focus evolved from the first fund until today?
The heart is still the same. What we do is still the same. How we measure impact has been improved just because we have more stuff helping us to put the measurement together. We could also do more specific funds like the counter-trafficking fund, the Freedom Fund, where we just focus on counter-trafficking. Before it was mixed all together because we've been much smaller. We couldn't afford to just put up 5 funds at the same time. But what we do now starts to show what our goal was from beginning. So we don't do anything different. We just do it like broader, and we can do it more professional than in the beginning. But that's normal. We've been a startup too.
Right. Nice. I like it. All right. What lessons from the early years have shaped how you lead or invest now? Can you give me 2 or 3 lessons maybe that you've learned over the time that you guys have built the funds?
Mm-hmm. We always had a very strict and really good due diligence tool. How we made due diligence with these early stage ventures, and it has evolved. I mean, we do it now better than before, but just also a lot of learning behind. If you check thousands of companies, you find some of the things that you did differently than now than before, and you have different weights in how you measure and how you do due diligence on an early stage company. And what I found out, we put more weight on the founding team. So if we check out the company, we look closer on who are these people? Why are they doing what they're doing? Where's their heart? How's like the founder context fit? How's the founder product fit, and so on. So we look closer to that one than before. That's just like out of our experience. So we're not always doing the things same forever. So we try to adapt and be clever over the years.
Nice. Aside from like due diligence and growth, is there anything else that you've learned as you've run companies and run the funds that's really stood out?
Well, I learn on a daily basis. I mean, I always think like I'm the most stupid guy on the planet. I mean, I do so many mistakes all the time. And most of the time I don't learn from my mistakes. I have to do it like 2 times, 3 times, 5 times. It's, yeah. I even need to be reminded on, hey, Rafi, you did the mistake, a year before. Really? Yeah, now I remember. But that's just how we are
That's how humans
wired.
learn. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's how
how.
people.
Actually, some people are lot smarter and quicker than me. That's for sure.
No.
But but also as an entrepreneur, I mean, the first 5 companies, I started without any clue how to build the company. I mean, the last 5 companies I built were built totally different. I mean, I had a better business model together, a better financial model, a better idea how to bootstrap it, and so on. So that's just like out of the experience and out of the network that you have. I mean, you say no quicker than 15 years ago.
Because you know what
It's
you're looking for and what you're not. Yeah.
I know my sweet spots. I know better my weaknesses. So I try to play my strengths. Yes.
Nice. When did you realize that Eagle had moved from an idea to a movement?
It's nice that you call it a movement. I would just call it it's our fund. But yeah, you're right. I mean, in the end, every vision that anyone has, which you really put down on paper, then you really put money in, and then you kickstart it, and you start the whole business, and you get some impact, and the wave goes out, and it touches other people's heart. Maybe you can call it movement. I would just call it's our vision and mission that we do, and it hasn't changed at all from when we began. So from me, it's the same thing now as nearly 10 years ago, when we sat together and said, hey, we have to do this thing. I still remember all these pictures, everything that we discussed back then, and for me, it's still the same. We just do it more professionally.
Nice. Well, speaking of vision and legacy, we want to step into the future now. So, what future do you hope Eagle will help to create for founders, investors in the world?
I don't want to sound romantic because the world isn't romantic at all. If we just can tag along on what we do, and if we can keep on growing the way that we grew the last 10 years, and we just make a chart line where we say we have like this normal grow in front of us, we just keep on reaching more people, and we just touching more hearts, we just impact more lives. And I'm happy with every life that we can improve. So it's not about me thinking what I want, it's more I give everything that I can to improve that many lives that I can. The more the better. I can't reach the whole world, but I try, or we try.
Awesome. Well, if someone were to describe Eagle 10 years from now, what would you want them to say?
I want them to say, I saw these guys, I saw what they're doing, and I was totally touched by what these guys achieved in the society.
Nice. Okay. All right. And then how do you see Eagle's role in redefining what venture capital as a whole can stand for?
I would wish that more investors investing now in venture capital, not just asking for more money, but asking for how has my cash changed other people's life for the better. And if just 10% of these investors would ask themselves the question and would invest differently and say, I want to have an impact in social life, in society, by investing the cash where it brings change, the world would look totally different than it looks now. Totally different. So we don't need to change everything. We just like lead a little piece of it. That's good enough.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right. One question that came up the other day that was kind of fun. I was sitting in the car with my son, and we were headed like back from a meeting that I had taken him to, like one of his activities. And he said, "Hey, Dad, what are you going to do tomorrow?" And I said, "Well, Titus, I'm going to go to work." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, I guess so." And then he was like, "Well, what are you going to do at work tomorrow?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm going to have some meetings. I'm going to talk to some people. I'm going to send some emails." And he was like, "Huh." And he's trying to wrap his mind, as a 15-year-old around what exactly we do. So here's my question to you, and the question I've asked the other GPs as well. What do your kids think you do?
Well, I don't have just one job. I have different kind of things. But what I tell my kids is I help people investing their money, so like a good service, where they get a good return, but doing good at the same time. And that's the question or the thing that that at least my kids understand. Or I tell them, look, daddy changes the way people getting treated, and they all, well, hopefully all getting better later on. So we all try in every way to uplift people. And yeah, therefore, daddy needs to travel and I need to take phone calls and writing emails, but all for this purpose. I know why I'm doing it.
Nice. Hey, now, final question for you. What else would you like to add on? Is there something that, regarding your time at Eagle, the 8 years that you've committed to building, that you just want to add on to this conversation we've had this morning? Like, what would you want people to understand that you haven't shared yet?
To build a real impact story where you impact other people's life by with such kind of, say, venture fund. It's not that easy, but together with the right team, you have such a superpower, because everything that I'm weak in, some other partners are strong in. So together with the team, you have such a clear vision how to bring this life and how to transform the things. And that's kind of a magnet where other entrepreneurs want to join this ecosystem. So you start building an ecosystem by not building it, but just people just want to be part of it. And then it's not about me. I'm not better, bigger, higher, nothing. I'm just glad everyone who joins us, which shares the vision, going out and transform other people's life. And that's what's absolutely exciting for me, that I can just be a part on a journey, on a whole vision, and see how everything develops without me, because the other guys have much better idea and much better understanding how to do that. And they just roll and they go and they run. And I can cheer them up and say, yeah, run, Daniel, run. You do a good job. And I can see this impact these people are doing. And that's absolutely amazing.
That's awesome. Very cool. Well, I already said last question, but I'm going to ask one more just because we got another minute. When you're not like investing in companies and building companies and running companies, because you love doing those things, what do you spend a lot of your extra time doing? Or any of your extra time doing?
Well, I try to spend as much as I can with my family, with my
Yeah.
kids, but I also love to do sport. I mean, I love stand-up paddling, biking, cycling. I love to go to gym just to feel myself when I put like some weights on it. I love to move around in like hiking in the mountains, doing snowboarding, skiing, being outdoor together with my kids.
Yeah.
That's maybe just a Swiss thing, I don't know, but it's something that inspires me. So if I'm out in a mountain, I see like all these mountains, beautiful nature, and I can like snowboarding through the powder together with my kids. It inspires me. It makes me creative to just having new ideas, some new sides onto the world, or finding new solutions for problems which I couldn't find in the office while writing my emails.
Right, right.
It's just different, and I love to do that.
Yeah, sometimes you need to be outside to be inspired. That's awesome. I
Absolutely.
100% agree. Dude, well, Robbie, thanks so much for spending the time today. I really enjoyed the series of questions we got a chance to process through. Hearing a little bit more about your vision and your passion for Eagle Venture Fund and your hope for the future. And excited to be a part of building that with you. So I hope it's a good day, my friend.
Yeah, thank you, Vip. Thank you for being in our team. I mean, you're such a good guy. I just love how you have so much or put so much energy in the whole vision and you just drive along. Well done, Vip.